You know how Texas likes to brag about limited government? Yeah, it turns out our definition of limited is like a Texan's definition of a light breakfast. Still big enough to feed an entire rodeo. But here's the twist. Sometimes the biggest government you have to worry about is wearing boots, not suits. And while our governor's boots might not walk, they've been stomping all over the rules. Let's talk about Governor Greg Abbott, a man who's discovered that veto pens are basically magic wands. And he's been killing bills like he's auditioning for a slasher movie. Not just bad bills. We're talking good, boring, bipartisan bills. You know, the kind where Republicans and Democrats manage to agree without throwing folding chairs at each other. But those bills, dead. Why? Because they weren't on Governor Abbott's priorities. Lately, Greg's been running the state like it's its own personal ranch, and lately he's been hog-tying the legislature, vetoing bills like Oprah handing out cars. You get a veto, and you get a veto. Everybody gets a veto. Except that, unlike Oprah, Abbott's not giving anybody anything. He's taking it away. This last session, Abbott vetoed more bills than a board bouncer at a bad honky-tonk. And it's not just about policy disagreements. It's about power. And when the legislature didn't move fast enough on his pet projects, Abbott pulled out his favorite political cattle prod, the special session. It's like regular lawmaking, except the governor keeps the lawmakers locked in until they cough up the votes he wants. He's been calling special sessions like a drunk ex texting at 3 a.m. Not because it's urgent, but because he can. We've had so many special sessions lately that the Capitol should just install bunk beds. Each time, it costs taxpayers millions, grinds normal governance to a halt, and reminds every legislator in Austin who's really in charge. Spoiler, it's not the voters. And let's not forget the budget hostage situation of 2021, when Abbott literally vetoed funding for a legislature because the lawmakers didn't pass his priority bills. Think about that. One man threatens to defund an entire branch of government until he gets his way. Why does that sound so familiar? We were promised cowboy grit, not crown-wearing entitlement. But here we are, with the governor acting more like a king of Texas than a servant of Texans. That's not Texas grit, that's political extortion with a Lone Star flag in the background. Executive power here isn't just creepy, it's sprinting faster than a jackrabbit on Red Bull. And the two-party cartel, they're both standing around pretending it's fine as long as their team's guy is the one holding the branding iron. Republicans in Texas rail against Washington's federal overreach, and they're not wrong. But here's the thing, local tyranny is still tyranny. And if you're mad about a president doing something without Congress, you should be just as mad about a governor doing something without the legislature. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, that's fine because I like what he's doing. Cool. But here's the problem. Eventually, your guy won't be in office. And the powers that Abbott is using today, they'll be right here for the next governor, who may be someone you really don't like. Limiting executive power isn't about left or right. It's about making sure that no one person can hijack the system. In a state that prides itself on independence, we've somehow ended up with a political structure where one man can decide which laws matter, which ones get erased, and when the people's representatives are allowed back into the room. That's not liberty, that's monarchy and cowboy boots. Local tyranny is still tyranny, even if it waves a Texas flag. You wouldn't trust Washington with this much power. Why the hell are you okay giving it to Austin? Either we take it back, or we stop pretending Texas is free. Because in a true Texas democracy, the boots are supposed to be on the ground, not on your neck.